I'm back with the new video, with another new video. Is the SNA podcast, episode 13 of AEW Rampage Part 2. And then we start off with AEW Rampage, with AEW paying tributes to the latest passing of Wyndham Rotunda, he's also known as Bray Wyatt in WWE. And that was very professionally. That was professionally sweet of AEW for doing an introduction like that for their show of AEW Rampage to show their respects into the wrestler and his family. And we're going to start off today, and we're also going to start off today with Orange Cassidy defending his AEW International Championship against Aaron Solo, which this match looked like it didn't even This match it seemed like it didn't last for 5 minutes, but it was probably like a 10-minute bout. Which I don't remember much. I'm just recapping on what happened because when it was on live, I was doing this video, doing the SmackDown review video. So please bear with me now. Don't no hates down in the comments, but I'm gonna start looking in right here, recap. Which shows Orange Cassidy doing this signature hands to the pockets, like if he has no limbs or let alone no hands, because he's playing the fruit. And then he started kicking the shins of Aaron Solo by going left and right, like, whoa, with the fans like, whoa, Before Orange Cassidy, before I had a chance to do the hands on the ball, that's when Aaron Solo hits him right in the midsection. And then, but Orange Cassidy got some redemption, so he had her in the headlock. And then that's when Aaron Solo start headlocking him back. But Orange Cassidy Irish whipped him and then hit him into a head and body drag slam, and then got him in the headlock. And then in the middle of the match, that's when the female member of Team QTV, which I keep forgetting her name. I'm gonna have to relook at this, look at her introduction to see what it is. This will only be a second.
Business people are stepping up though to help their neighbors. In fact, one pharmacist is giving away thousands of doses of medication to people who need it for free. The expensive injectables for those diabetic diabetes or
let's see.
Any type of behavioral health medications, we've done it across the board.
But I'll figure it out one day. But yeah, she was distracting Orange Cassidy into his match in the middle of the match, but it didn't seem like it only hardly worked like 25% of the time. But yeah, Orange Cassidy did not let that distract him. He was focusing on this match, defending his longest reigning defending international championship by doing what he normally do, and just that's being Orange Cassidy as the greatest champion in the only championship in the only lineage. Yeah. But yeah, he hits him with the orange punch, and then he gets the 1-2-3 victory when he retains the AEW International Championship. We're gonna move on to the.
How often does that happen? Not that often. And a lot of folks go like, wait a minute, Jeff.
And we got QT Marshall now, like
totally different sort of structure. So
Shelton.
Didn't have to worry about it. We have some thunderstorms that are out there. Nothing severe necessarily, but this is first alert radar in a composite.
And then we had this backstage interview with QT Marshall. And he starts saying the great wrestlers such as Cody Rhodes and Powerhouse Will Hobbs, the guy that he worked with in his time in AEW. And he's like, but that's all because of me. I was like, but if that was the case with Cody's case, that means you've been the inventor of AEW. But But yeah, whatever. But anyways, he's like, yeah. He also said like, yeah, that's what you commentators don't want to talk about, don't y'all? And that's when Jay was like, yeah, perhaps you're right. And then that's when QT Marshall was like saying like yeah, like that's because I'm not just a pro. I put the pro in professional wrestling, and in every aspect in this industry, he checks every box. And then whatever he wrestles, the way he talks, the way he walks, moving down, he handles his business in behind the scenes, and then everybody don't care about it. About QT Marshall not being professional. He's got to be a good soldier, and
82 in Warrensburg, 84 in CDA, but already down to 79 in Warsaw. Taste of things.
Oh, brother pickle. But he's around his business behind the scenes, and he don't care about. He said, yeah, basically said, with QT Marshall not be a good soldier, and then opportunities will rise into your way. And it seemed like the opportunities are narrating that Tony Khan he sets up the opportunity. But now the case, I wanted to have the case is whatever it takes to be manage the AAA and see him. He's like, I've been one of the best 3 wrestlers in the world, and why I did that by being the best and being the wrestler in the world, and he don't have no backup plan. Like that's the idea. And he's like, I may not have a degree in the university, but I have a PhD in professional wrestling. You have hearts and determination. I was like, yeah, that's a very impressive. Yeah, that's a very. That's a very impressive accolade, but do you really have to explain this for the fact that you're a heel wrestler? Like, shouldn't you save this if you were like a babyface wrestler when you look like a guy that's coming out of character and not use it? But let's see what this is going with him being the new, I believe either AAA champion, which I don't know exactly what it is right now because I don't really watch AAA because for one reason, like, I just don't see, like, I'm just never having watched the match, let alone where it's streaming on. Like, whether if it's on the streaming service or whether it's on the streaming service or on the TV channel, like, I don't know where to search from. And two, like, I don't know if it's like a type of wrestling show I'll watch at this time, but I will give it a try sometime in the future. Like, but when I do, I'm gonna let you guys know how I feel about the Mexican wrestling lucha libre style promotion. Yeah, but let's move on to this interview. And he also QT Marsh said he may not be on the posters and on the truck and even have his own action figures, let alone. And like, how does it feel that the fact that I can't tell my mom that I don't have my own action figures for her to hold and for her to be proud of me, but yet and then he's like. And that really eats him alive that there's like over 150 Excalibur action figures and he's no longer an active in-ring competitor. Like, and he's a commentator on AEW. And that burns him up. Like, and he's like I earned the achievements, and it starts this Friday. And I'm going to earn that respect right here, right now. I'm like, QT Marshall. Like, it's not like you achieve it all to earn so much respect. You got to do everything that you say you are to earn some kind of respect. That goes anything in life. Like, that you got to, like, I'm saying his wrestling persona, I would say you can't demand respect without doing it all. And then if you've done it, until you've done it all, like, you gotta get the honorability like that you gain. You have to keep that and be satisfied on it, and then probably can graduate to something bigger and something that you wanted to achieve that you keep dreaming about. Like, but yeah, But let's see where this goes with QT Marshall in the foreseeable future in his run in AEW. And what do you think about this future push that QT Marshall could be gaining into this interview? Like, y'all let me know down in the comments below. But he's a legend. AAA legend American champion, I believe. But yeah, y'all let me know about the lineage of the title down in the comments below. But I'd like to hear from you too. Like once I do my AAA research. But anyways, we got QT Marshall facing this enhancement talent from AEW. But before QT Marshall defended his AAA mid-card championship, like he started mocking the fans in Spanish, like by saying a few words in Spanish, like which been noted from the commentators from Excalibur and Tony Schiavone that he learned a few Spanish on the way from like before he even won the AAA that particular AAA championship. But anyways, we're gonna talk about the match right here. He's gonna take on this luchador named Gravity. That's who it was. I should know about this guy. I've seen him wrestle guys like the Bastard Pack before, so I should know who he is. Like he kind of reminds me of an AEW Axiom, but that's another story for another day. But anyways, he faced Gravity, which I hardly remember this match because I was too busy doing the SmackDown review match, like because I started doing the SmackDown review as soon as after AEW came on. As soon as after SmackDown came on, when AEW Rampage was starting to come on, so when I started doing the review video, so I'm gonna try to do my best of how of explaining what happened with QT Marshall against Gravity for the AAA Mid Card Championship, and when after QT Marshall started mocking everybody in Spanish, that's when Gravity's like, "You're just nothing but a disgrace, and you're nothing but a disgrace and a sign of disrespect into this traditional style in pro wrestling." And then okay, let's see what else he said. And then that's when QT Marshall's like, "Yeah, not you today, not so much." But and he's like, "Maybe you should. Yeah, you don't want. Maybe you should leave." He told the referee to just leave, and then you should just get out. And it looks like you're trying to make an excuse for not, like any typical a-hole heel would do into a match. In a match like this. But anyways, Gravity said something in Spanish, and he slapped the absolute shib right out of QT Marshall's mouth. And then that's when the referee rang the bell. He tried to go for a clothesline, but Gravity hits this flip springboard, and hits a most perfectionist arm drag right up in midair without standing up whatsoever until he landed onto the canvas. Like, I was like, I haven't seen this not even with the Lucha Brothers or Rey Mysterio before. What is up with this Gravity? Like his name is really going up the expectations because he getting up the expectations because he really doing what a wrestler named Gravity would do. Like, but that they'll do anything that has any associations or anything related to the the defiant rule of gravity and physics, the laws of gravity and physics. Like he was doing it so much to the point that you would expect that he could do an unexpected victory over against the reigning defending champ QT Marshall.
Oh my God.
And then he also did the springboard move. Like he went forward flip and then he went flat back flip and then he swinged him once again. Like I was like, not even Sin Cara would do this in 11,000 years from seeing this kid Gravity doing it. And I hope he does get pushed in stay in AEW because this guy has so much talent and potential. Like and it would be kind of a shame if AEW don't do nothing with the guy, like other than putting him in non-title matches or just matches that are in the mid card. Like hopefully this is just the start. Like and not just be a usual enhanced. Like a typical usual jobber, like a glorified typical jobber who jobs out into a real deal wrestler that's whether the champion or in the main event scene and then get squashed in a squash match right in the middle of the show. Like let's hope we don't end up like that and then get released.
Stop.
Like I'm not sure AEW would do that like WWE's been known to do before, but I'm hoping that AEW sees something in the guy and then maybe even make him a future main event star into in whatever champion he holds, he be recognized as a main event player in the game. Which I'm not saying he's going to win the AEW World Championship. Like look at the guy and put him. Even if he loses, like so what? Like he was still look good in defeat. Like in this match, for an example, yeah, incredible. Credible, like right up in the air, like he, to the point, like I was like, how can this luchador can just do this, like without any demonstrations or any what's it called? Like I bet he rehearsed this, but without any what they call like a starter demonstration of getting into the move. But he didn't need none of that because he flipped up right in the most perfectionist way, and then he hit him with a flying head scissors right outside, which I bet QT Marshall's gonna feel it all over his torso and back in the morning. But anyways, that's when Gravity started doing the Ric Flair walk, looked like some kind of a gravity moonwalk, and then QT Marshall slammed him right into the concrete floor. He started doing his handshake to Johnny TV, which is formerly known as John Morrison, by the way. But yeah, QT Marshall grabbed the belt and started rubbing it into the fans' faces, saying, "Yeah, I'm your new champion. And you're gonna show me the respect that I deserve. I've been putting my blood and sweat and tears into 3 years into this business." And then that's when he continued starting to show glow, even though it was halfway on commercial break. And then that's when QT Marshall started completely squashing poor Gravity, but Gravity amazingly got back up and started chopping him and hitting him on his way from comeback. But QT Marshall hit a chop to the point they could have basically paralyzed Gunther. Like he could have with the way he done it. And he tried to go for one move that's similar to a fireman's carry, but what's his name rolled it out into a small package. Gravity turned into a small package. He hit the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, the surprise roll-up. That couldn't put him away, though. So he tried to go for a wheelbarrow roll-up, which that didn't work. Only got 2.3 seconds. And then Gravity go for a Hurricane Rana, but what's the name? QT Marshall reversed into a powerbomb, but Gravity countered that move and then hit him with a sunset flip powerbomb, which he got another surprise. Tried to go for a surprise roll-up, but he had to reform into a pin into a 2.7 count. Unfortunately, he couldn't get him on that move, so he started brainstorming because he nearly had him with that sunset flip powerbomb, even though it wasn't exactly as like a finishing move or let alone a signature move, but it was a move that could be a move like that in a way in the future. That's when both men got back up, and then that's when Gravity tried to go for a clothesline, and then he Irish whipped him on the other side of the corner, Tina the turnbuckle. He tried to go for a running clothesline, but Gravity drop kick out of it, and then he tried to go for a springboard crossbody, and then QT Marshall caught, and he turned him around, hit him with the backbreaker, and then hit him with that flat plant facebuster majig. And then, which I'm assuming that's a signature move. And he's like, game over, which that's like there. He picks him up in his head like he was about to do the Iron Claw choke slam, but he's all picking him up into a suplex position. And he tried to go for a power bomb, flip out of it, but Gravity turned into a Hurricane Rana roll up, but he only got a 2 count again. He go for a super kick again, but he go for a double super kick. Still QT Marshall was still standing up, so he still start repeatedly hitting super kicks onto the reigning defending AAA, I believe it's called Legend American Champion. And then he hits the German soup, and he hits the springboard German soup like where it goes in like he did earlier. Go front flip out, and then back flip in, and German suplex the QT Marshall. He only got 2 again, and that what makes me thinking like, how is he doing this much moves and not getting any kind of 3 count, even though it's predetermined? But they're making him look like maybe too legit. But I'm not trying to sound hypocritical, but I would say like make him legit, but don't make him too legit unless you're gonna actually give him the win. Like just give him at least like 3 minutes of. Let's give him 3 minutes of time of showing what he got, and so the reason why he should join AEW, in my opinion, and then that's when Gravity tried to pick up QT Marshall, and he Irish whipped him to the other corner of the ring, the ring ropes. He countered that and turned it to a clothesline, a running clothesline, with Gravity Gravity going towards him, and then QT Marshall put him over the top rope, and then try to go for some kind of I'm assuming he starts mocking him with his diamond, with the Diamond Dallas Page's diamond shape hand movement, and then he starts trying to go for a diamond cutter off the top rope, but Gravity flipped out of the diamond cutter right forward. He goes up and chopped QT Marshall right in the chest, and then he went for another chop, and then that's when and Gravity slipped out of the Tina the turnbuckles, and then he hit them with a European uppercut, and then that's when Gravity tried to go for some kind of a Samoa drop right on the top rope, which he successfully executed. He tried to go for a 3 count again, but QT Marshall kicked out of it, and then that's when Gravity tried to go for the top rope to do one move, but he jumped out because QT Marshall ran towards his way and tried to knock him down. He had to jump away, and then QT Marshall hit him with a flying diamond cutter. Right, so beautiful. You thought that Randy Orton hit that move, like which looked like a flying RKO rather than a diamond cutter, because diamond cutters go up, you grab them and you slam them, but he lifted him up and hit him with like a flying RKO out of nowhere. Like that could have made Randy Orton proud. or even jealous. Like, but anyway, that's another story for another day. But that, yeah, he hits him with the flying diamond cutter that gave him the 1-2-3, and he's still the AAA champion. Along with the suplex power bomb, which so why he's the AAA Legend champion, or the Latin American champion. That's what it's called. Yeah, my bad. The Latin American. I thought it was Legend American, but that must have heard it wrong. It's the Latin American Championship, which he's holding. He's still the reigning defending champ of defending it on tonight's Dynamite. And then everybody was booing the hell out of him out of the building, because I was like, who really would cheer for this guy at this point, because he's doing a great job playing the awful heel that he's portraying as. But what do you think about QT Marshall status in AEW? Y'all let me know down below. But we're gonna move on to the Dark Order, particularly Evil Uno, Alex Reynolds, and short beard bald John Silver. Yep, that's why I call him short bald beard John Silver, because he's obviously short and bald, and have a full set of a Wyatt family beard, and two, instead of long John Silvers, it's short John Silver. Yeah, which I'm not sure if that joke is that catchy, but yeah, just to let you know about that. But anyway, they started letting everybody know that they're not the fun comedic jokesters that like they once were. They're gonna go back to their serious form, like when they originally came to AEW, when they made an AEW debut, when they were wearing those black masks and those black suits, looking like some burglar, basically the what's the name's Cat in the Hat's little number minions, like dressed up in burglar suits. Like, yeah, like that's all I thought of them when I remember very first watching them back in 2019. But yeah, like they're going back as that, and even more better than that, and even like being like when they had Brody Lee as their leader, which they'll never have a leader since the late great Brody Lee has passed from 3 years ago. Like, and then but yeah, they would be serious, and they're gonna turn back into heels. I was like, if they're not gonna be dark, if they're gonna continue as Dark Order, and they're not really doing much as babyface, like might as well turn them back into a heel, because they could benefit off of playing that role. Because besides, like the Dark Order sound like a villainous faction name anyway. So if they were babyface, they should have came up with a different kind of version of the Dark Order, like something more like, I'm not saying like the Light Order, but I'm saying like something that would be the opposite of dark, like something that's like good, but it's cool, good but cool. Like, if you know what I'm saying, that has swag. Like, y'all know what I mean. But yeah, but let me know about that down in the comments. We're gonna move on to the next match, which is the reigning defending TNT champion, which is Luchasaurus. But even though Christian Cage is holding the TNT championship, he's just doing all the work, is fighting the matches and fighting Christian Cage's battles and winning and holding on to his championship, saying that like he's trying to help him out by making it less heavy. But dude, like if that was the case, you would be carrying all his accessories. If all his accessories that he's wearing in his ring gear that he's wearing on when he enters the ring. If that was the case, if he was trying to make him not worry about carrying anything heavy, like that was the most worst excuse. But anyways, like Christian Cage claims he's the TNT championship, even though Luchasaurus originally won and beat Wardlow a month ago at AEW's Collision. I think it was the second week in the second episode, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, if anybody should be holding the TNT championship, like Tony Schiavone and Excalibur said, it should be definitely the one that's the rightful winner, which is Luchasaurus. But anyways, he was in action tonight, and I believe correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it was a squash match. Like I didn't really see much until now. Like, and it's against this. That's right. It was a squash match. I believe it was enhancement talent that usually would wrestle on like on an AEW episode of Dark or Elevation or Dark Elevation. I'm gonna correct myself. It was against this guy like that they didn't announce. I believe they didn't even announce his name. They just let Luchasaurus have him, and then and then once he was trying to squash him, this guy impressively countered his grasp by Irish whipping him right into the corner turnbuckle, hit him with a back and elbow strike right through Tina the turnbuckle, and then start giving them a run for Luchasaurus's money, and then they start hitting forearms, and then he started hitting, but anyways. But anyways, this guy started showing why he should be on AEW, and then he hit him with one move, but Luchasaurus intercepted into a big boot, and then that's when Luchasaurus was getting ready to hit him with the choke slam, trying to be the next Kane, but I said he would work with this gimmick with choke slams, like if the Brothers of Destructions wasn't the original users of the move, but yeah, they always will be the legends. Like no one can't replace the Brothers of Destruction, Kane and the Undertaker. But anyways, Luchasaurus hits him with the choke slam. He tried to go for another one. He started looking at his Dino Claw, and then he picks this guy back up, and then he hits him. It looks like he was going for a choke slam, but really he hits him right with a clothesline right from behind, and that's when he go for the pin. He got the 1, 2, 3, and then it was like what we definitely would expect into a squash match. Like he eventually, he got somebody that was gonna step up to him and fight him, but not enough to put away the reigning defending TNT championship. But anyways, we're gonna move on to the next slide. We got. Ouch! They're gonna do like they usually do, like on a typical AEW episode of typical AEW episode of Rampage. They talk about All In, all the matches. Like it's gonna be like the Coffin Tag Team match, the AEW World Heavyweight Championship match, the Real World Championship match, and the AEW Tag Team Championship, and the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships, like etc. And then they said now it's time, and then that's when Mark Henry's like, it's time for the main event. Mark Henry came out and said it's time for the main event, which is the AEW Women's World Champion Hikaru Shida teaming up with Dr. Britt Baker DMD to face the Outcasts, 2/3 of the Outcasts, Saraya and Toni Storm. And then Mark Henry was announcing that this is the go home edition of AEW's Rampage. This is a tag team match before their big match for the Women's World Championship at AEW All In, and then that's when he said his catchphrase. Does it look like it's been enough talk, and it's time for the main event? We got to the introduction. We started the match, and man, like now this is a good reason. Like I can think of 3 reasons why this is 3 reasons why this was a good idea. They main evented this main event at AEW Rampage tonight. Because they look like if they're fighting like if Britt Baker and at first it looked like Britt Baker and Hikaru Shida when they were teaming together against the Outcasts, like, it looked like they're trying to become like if AEW have women's tag team championships, like they're wrestling so good to that point. And anyways, the Outcasts is Saraya and Tony Storm do like usual, like what a usual typical heel tag team would do, and that is what is attack the babyface Dr. Britt Baker DMD, and doing double team tags on her and make sure she don't tag in Hikaru Shida. But that didn't really last for long because Britt Baker countered one of their moves. She tagged in the AEW reigning defending women's world champion, which is Hikaru Shida. She started hitting her with her signature forearm strikes into her comeback move. Tony Storm kicks her in the midsection. She tried to go for a running move, but Hikaru Shida managed to intercept by hitting her with a running knee strike, like before Tony Storm can do anything. And then Hikaru Shida tried to go for a reverse fire women's carry thingamajig into a backbreaker, like tossing her, even though it was face first, more like the belly breaker, more like. And then Saraya tried to get involved, but Hikaru Shida hit a suplex right on. And then she hit a suplex on Saraya right on the Tony Storm, and then she rolled out of the ring. And then Hikaru Shida tried to go for a pinfall cutter, cover. My apology of the tongue tie. But anyways, Tony Storm hits her with a right, but that's what pissed off Hikaru Shida, so she hit her right back, and they started hitting each other with right hands, and then Tony Storm started winning, started hitting her, and they even hit one that looked like she hit her head, but because she was hitting her head and rocking her head, and then her hair started swinging back and forth. She was having so much crazy hair, like she started to turn into her husband himself, Rock Hard Juice Robinson, for having such wild, crazy, curly hair. Britt Baker go for a ripcord, but Tony Storm countered it and hit her with a German suplex, and then she put her into the corner of the Outcast, tagged in Saraya. They tried to go for another double team, or even Saraya. He's Britt Baker right to the corner, so she won't do anything. And then Saraya. And then when she tried to get her out, and then the referee tried to grab her back because, like, for some reason the referee did not want the Saraya to attack Britt Baker, and that gave Britt Baker enough time to tag herself in the match to go face to face with Saraya, but the former anti-diva kicked her right into the midsection. Irish whipped her towards right into Tony Storm. She tags in Tony Storm, and Tony Storm hits a double running hip attack that could have knocked him out just by itself, like with one move. Like I'm surprised that didn't put Britt Baker and Saraya away. I'm not Saraya, Hikaru Shida, like whether if it was Hikaru, which I believe they pinned Britt Baker at that time, but Tony Storm and Saraya did a double hip attack, like with Saraya throwing Tony Storm right into Hikaru Shida, which she hit her with a hip attack, and then she did the same with Britt Baker, and then alongside a double power bomb, looking like the Shield, but except it's not three of them, like usually would be, but only just the two of them because there are only two legal women in the match. Which they did the double power bomb. They thought that would put her away, but they only get the 2 count because thanks to Hikaru Shida, even despite Tony Storm trying to block her, she speared Tony Storm right into her own partner Saraya, just like someone with the Young Bucks would do, like when a tag team tries to block them from making the save from when their tag partner opponent is pinning their tag partner. Yeah. The typical tag team save encounters, and then that's when Britt Baker started hitting super kicks just like her boyfriend Adam Cole, baby, and then that's when she even fell down, and then all 4 women were down, And then the referee was like, "Get up!" And then that's when he started doing the double count with the two legal women of getting up. Like at least Tony Storm and not Tony Storm. At least I believe was Saraya and Britt Baker were the legal women on that match. But that's when Tony Storm and Hikaru Shida started doing fist hockey fight punch back and forth, while Britt Baker was doing the same with Saraya. And that's when Britt Baker hits that spinning discus elbow strike right into Saraya's face. Hikaru Shida tried to pick her up to do the sword falcon arrow, and then that's when Britt Baker hits her with that drift away neck breaker, and then Britt Baker tried to go for a pinfall, but Tony Storm went and stopped her from getting a 3 count. Like Hikaru Shida was trying to do her best of grabbing her and holding her and keeping her from making the save to her partner, but it was too little, too late, because she got out of her grasp and stopped her with the 2.5 pinfall. And then next up there's with Britt Baker trying to go for her lockjaw. She put on her dentist glove. Like she tried to go for her signature move, the curb stomp, but Saraya grabbed onto the. But the referee grabbed on. Not the referee. Saraya grabbed onto the referee's leg, trying to bend it back to distract the referee. And then that's when Tony Storm had that can of that green Outcast spray paint, tried to spray it into the eyes of Britt Baker. But Hikaru Shida had to sacrifice, try to grab the can, the spray graffiti can right out of her hands. And then that's when Tony Storm started spraying it onto Hikaru Shida's eyes. And then she couldn't see. And then what's her name? But Dr. Britt Baker, the DMD, tried to help her out, trying to get some to wipe her eyes out. But she thought it was Saraya or Tony Storm, one of the two Outcast members. Trey, I know you want to say hi to the people on YouTube that's watching this video, but you cannot. You gotta learn how to do it first. Yeah. Yeah. Uncle SNA doing this video right now. No, you can get it after Uncle's done with his podcast. But anyway, yeah, that's my little nephew, Atreyu. Say hi to him, and you too, Atreyu. But anyways, back to the women's tag team match. Britt Baker tried to see if she's okay, trying to help her to get her face wiped off because her eyes were stinging from the green spray paint from the Outcast. She thought it was one of the Outcasts, so she started hitting her fist right onto Britt Baker's face, and then that was a complete mistake, because after she done that, Saraya picked her up and hit her with her finishing move that lifted her up into a fisherman's position into a DDT. It used to be called the PTO, I believe, in WWE, but it's a new name, I believe. The shipwreck. I think it's called the shipwreck. I think it's called the shipwreck. But y'all let me know what it's really called down in the comments. She hits her with that move. She gets the 1, 2, 3, and then on tonight's Rampage, I was about to do a tongue tied calling it Dynamite, but that was this past Wednesday. That was this past Wednesday. But tonight's Rampage, it ended with the two members of Outcast winning with a very connivingly sneaky plan by doing it in a sneaky fashion. Trey, to get the win, and then that's when Hikaru Shida felt bad, like, OMG, like, did I really just cost us the match? Which it's not all her fault entirely, because it was Tony Storm blinded her with the spray paint. But yeah, that gained the Outcast some momentum, and then they started holding the championship like if they're about to be women's world championship. But they only could. But yeah, they may be celebrating now. But what about when the day comes at Wembley Stadium in the UK at this Sunday's All In? Like when there only can be one winner and one champion. That can only walk out of there is the champion. But yeah, who do you think that's gonna win? Like, is it gonna be the former anti-diva Paige, which is now she's going by Soraya, or is it gonna be Toni Storm being the first time 3-time AEW Women's World Champion, or can it be? Okay, you don't need to do all that. We're not doing that kind of video right now, Trey. We can do Play-Doh. Yeah, Play-Doh. Shout out to Play-Doh. Here you go. You're welcome. You can be like Ryan's World. Yeah, we're going to do that. Like, Uncle just needs to get started with this podcast. But anyways, they're celebrating. And like, who's it going to be? It's going to be Soraya, going to be Toni Storm, it's going to be Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, or can DMD be the third ever 2-time Women's World Championship, or can it be the reigning defending champ herself, Hikaru Shida, with her being her current status as Women's World Champion? Y'all let me know below. My predictions on Britt Baker, like I predicted earlier, like on the wrestling news and the latest edition of AEW Dynamite Review Part 2. And yeah, that's what ended. I would give tonight's AEW Rampage perhaps 3 stars for having matches, for having a couple of good matches and a couple of squash matches. I would just give it 3 stars. What y'all would give? What would y'all would give tonight's AEW Rampage? Y'all let me know down in the comments and let me know what y'all would rank it. And then yeah, and if you like this video, please give me a huge thumbs up, and then comment below and like this video, subscribe, click the bell notification bell, leave a comment of your thoughts, and then make sure you check out my next video I'm about to upload tomorrow night, which is going to be the review of AEW Collision, which will be episode 4 of the SNA podcast. And speaking of which, I've been your host, Super Ninja Austin. This has been the SNA podcast. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you then tomorrow night. This has been Super Ninja Austin and Sassin out.